This is a very special bonus episode we wanted to do to really share the behind the scenes around us planning out our $1 million quarter. So I asked through our email list and on social media if you would like a behind the scenes look at really how we do our planning. And there were so many yeses that we decided to record this for the podcast, for YouTube, and really share how we do this. So we're going to walk you through our process. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep you up to date as this goes on. So I always love to start with context, and this podcast has been around for like 500 episodes for, I think I started in 2016. So we've been going a long time. So I think it's really important that we just take a second and we reintroduce ourselves, because our business has changed a lot over the years. And when I started in 2011, I had a food company, I was health coaching, and now we're recording this in October 2023. And now our company's name is Elevated, first of all. And our focus is helping founders create wildly profitable businesses through evergreen weekly sales. So we have changed. We've gone through a very windy road to get here. And I'm really happy where someone just asked us, what would you change? And the truth is none of it. It's been a windy road. So Dan and I are going to give you the behind the scenes of this and really walk you through what we do. But the first thing we want you to know is that we help founders really set up the simplest systems possible, semi-automated evergreen sales. And the reason why we do this is because, especially where the industry is going, we really feel strongly that the personal touch and the experience is the number one most important piece, and client results. So we say that we are not a course, we are a service. We are in the service industry. We are here to serve our clients. We are here to help our clients get results. And if our clients aren't happy, and our clients aren't moving forward, then we're not really doing our job. So I invited Dan to sit. Obviously, if you're watching the video, you can see that he's sitting next to me. But this evolution that we have gone through since 2021, in 2021, we decided we're going to really stop and pause our Facebook ads agency, where it was a done for you Facebook ads service. And we're really going to take everything that we have learned running Facebook ads since 2011 and 2012, and funnel work and building email lists and building audiences, and really help other people do that, because we have a very counterintuitive, we have a very different belief around what we do and our formula, the 7-to-7 formula. So is there anything else you want to add to that before? I think I wanted to give you context for what our program is before we dove into the plan. So our company's name is Elevated. If you haven't seen, and at the time we're recording, really haven't come out and said this, but which probably is a whole other podcast episode, it was my goal to transition away from more of a personal brand to a company, because the 7-to-7 formula, which is our process, which is our templates, it's our scripts, our entire process for semi-automated evergreen sales, is not just me, and it's not just me and Dan. It is a whole team of people and team of advisors that are working to get you on your path to 7 figures. So we kind of are moving and making this transition towards the Elevated brand, towards Elevated CEO, to really showcase that it's not just Nicole, it's really all of us. And when you work with us inside the 7-to-7 formula, you get everyone's support, because I'm certainly not the only expert, and there are so many other areas that I'm not an expert in. And we really wanted this to be a super well-rounded program that is a personalized service that helps founders get on their path to 7 figures in a scalable business model.
Yeah. And I think we're going to go into this a lot more, but what we strive to help our clients get is more sales. And I think most people, and we can kind of talk about this a little with our planning stage, they're planning too much and they're actually not focused on getting sales every single week. And by just changing the focus to that, it's going to change what you work on and what you measure.
And what I want to share with you is that some of this may seem so incredibly simple that you're like, how could this work? How could it just be that? And the truth is, business is simple. Everything we do every single day is simple. That doesn't mean it's easy all the time. It doesn't mean we don't have to make hard choices or hard decisions or show up in ways that stretch us. Of course we do. And the overcomplication of business has been glorified so much that our message to you is that simple scales. And as parents of 3, matter of fact, we have a kid home from school today as we're recording this. As parents of 3, like there's so much complication in other areas of life, and we're continually striving to look at our business and say, how can we simplify to multiply? And how does this, like, truly, whenever there's something to add, like, does this actually lead to more of our clients' results or our results? So let's talk about, so I wanted to reintroduce ourselves. So obviously I'm the founder of the company. Dan really works with the marketing and the sales department, and he also works with our clients. I still work with our clients and we do Mindset Mondays or the Momentum Call, and I am the chief visionary of the entire company. So everything runs through me. I want to talk about a little bit what we have done, because the semi-automated evergreen sales are key. Our focus is obviously getting the sales and helping you get on the path to 7 figures. And we want to bring people to that yes moment faster. And what we are seeing over and over again is that launches just take so long to get people to say yes. We hear this all the time. And right now, especially, there's this big like delay. I think a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm going to sell. I'll sell later. I'm going to plan my launch. I'm in pre-launch mode. How much of the year are you spending in pre-launch mode?
It's especially prevalent in the fourth quarter when people say, I'm in pre-launch mode. And I say, but don't you need money now? And they're like, yeah, that's why I'm in pre-launch mode. And I'm like, no, just sell now. And it's just like this crazy aha that's just like, how can it be so simple? Everything I've been told so before is that I need a landing page, I need a sales page, I need email sequences, I need all this stuff, I need a larger audience. And that's where the simplicity comes back to is no, you don't need that large of an audience. You don't need that many lead pages. You just need to talk to your audience, understand how to serve them, and sell them something.
And you literally just need to know how to get your person to say yes. That's literally, and like all of these launches are just complicating. If you like, do you know when I maybe I'm the only one like this, but we bought a car over the summer and I literally manifested the car like being brought to our house without going to the car dealership. That was my whole goal. I didn't want to go to the car dealership because it's the whole time is just like, just give me the pitch. Like, just tell me. That's what I'm in it for. I know what's going to make me say yes. And your people are the same way. They are educated. They know, they shop all the time. Like literally, we have an entire universe of things to buy in at our fingertips. And we're so worried about all of the information we need to get them when really you just need to know what makes your rich niche say yes. Get them to that yes moment and get them there as freaking fast as possible. And that truly is what we are all about. So like, get out of pre-launch mode. Get out of pre-launch mode. You literally, like, what are you doing in your business if you're sitting in pre-launch mode for 10 months of the year? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you think I'm right. We talk about this all the time. But so our goal is to help you get your clients to a faster yes. Like that really is what we are about, and it can be so much simpler. So what have we done? Well, first of all, we have been doing this for over 12 years at this point. I quit my teaching job in August of 2011, but I had worked the entire summer. We have had a Facebook ads agency. We have done online sales. We've helped local businesses. We had a health coaching company. We had a food company. And now, like I said, we help founders create wildly profitable businesses that are simple businesses with weekly sales. Why I wanted to talk about, well, first of all, I always go to Dan and I'm like, I have a crazy idea. And sometimes he says yes, and sometimes he says no, and sometimes he says no, and we do it anyway. So that, I mean, should we talk about that for a quick second? And it's not like, I just want to be clear, this is me going to the marketing and sales department and being like, what do you think about this? This is not a husband and wife conversation. And we have to, as doing this for so long together, Dan came on more with us when we had our second baby in 2015, and then even more in 2018. That's when he really let go of all his consulting clients. And we have had to master the toggle between husband and wife conversations and CEO visionary and sales department and marketing department conversations. And that takes practice. It takes work. We don't always get it perfect. And I think we do a decent job. I think we do a pretty good job.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about that, but I actually think if we kind of go through our process of how we planned out the quarter,
okay,
and then we bring in our discussion from
yes,
yesterday,
okay,
because what I don't want to get away from is how we plan the quarter.
Okay.
And if we want to hit $1 million in sales, what do we actually need to focus
okay. Well, you might be listening to this later because we're going to kind of make this a series. Our October cohort is open right now because of our live event, because of the one-to-one nature of our program, because we can't take unlimited people, because we care about your success and your progress. We limit our spots, and this is a real thing. This is a real thing. So if you are interested in joining the 7 to 7, then fill out the application. It'll be linked somewhere below this video, and we will see if you are a right fit, because we are very specific in the type of person who we help, because we want you to get results. We want every single one of our clients get results, and it is a service. So why are we doing this? One, because simplicity scales, and we wanted to show you truly how simple it can be. That doesn't mean it's going to be really easy for you to put into practice, but you can take these steps. So, okay, let's get into this. So I said to you, okay, let's talk about $1 million quarter. How would we share this? How would we actually go about? So do you want to?
Well, I thought we'd start with our conversation of like,
okay,
how do we actually calculate getting to $1 million in terms of recurring revenue, like renewals and sales? Because
okay,
I think that's what people miss, is that how are you actually constructing the sales portion of it, of the offers, to get to your number? And so we're going for $1 million. If you guys are going for 10,000, 100,000, 500,000, whatever the number is, the process is going to stay the same. And we start with the easiest money that we know that's coming in, and then the highest potential money, and that's going to leave a gap. That's your sales gap. And that's when we can start talking about our marketing and our planning.
The reason, like, we will tell you this all day long, our secret sauce has been client retention. And that is because we freaking care about our clients. And we want every single one of our clients to feel seen and heard and cared for. And that's why it's always the place we go. And it's always like you will be successful if you can avoid the shiny object. That's the truth. And for the past, I would say 2.5, 3 years, we've been really good at avoiding the shiny objects. Maybe a little bit more, but I'd say definitely 2.5 to 3 years, we have avoided the shiny object. Client success and client retention is number one. And often people just want to go to the new sales, to the new sale, to the new sale, to the new sale. Well, what about all of the people who are in front of you who already trust you? Like, make sure those clients are getting results, which is a whole other whole other podcast episode, but I want to say, like, start where your feet are, start with, which is the easiest. And a lot of people discount that too. Like, oh, I already have this much revenue coming in, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Of course it counts. So, okay, I'm going to let you kind of take it, and I'll interject.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So I'm going to share my screen I know we're going to put this on the podcast too. So I'll talk through this as well. And obviously, if you are listening to the podcast and you want some more details, you want to see it, we'll link to the video so you can see exactly what I'm writing. So these lines are a very loose representation of a funnel. And what most people do when they start calculating how much money do I need, they start up top and they start talking about leads. And this is what we don't want to do. We actually don't want to talk about leads yet. What we need to talk about is sales. Specifically, how much money do we want to come in the door? So our goal for this quarter is $1 million. And so that's our top line revenue. That's what we want to come in the door. And so what we have to start with is, what do we already have coming in? Estimated, obviously none of this is set in stone, but we estimate we have about $300,000 that is going to come in the door if we did not do anything. If we did not sell, if we just served our clients, we have just about that coming in the door. Now, the next place we want to go to is, what is low-hanging fruit? Is there other revenue out there that we can get to come in the door before we go and think about leads or new sales or anything like that?
I just want to say, like, look, this is where a lot of people discount this because, you know, okay, I want to make and first of all, like, I just want to say, if you're looking at these numbers and you're like, OMG, like, that was OMG to us not that long ago. And it was the focus of client success and retention that really helped us get here. So when you see this, okay, that's $300,000. Now my gap is actually only $700,000. Like, you're bringing it down a lot. So don't discount the revenue that you already have. Yeah.
And so just for using round numbers, we estimate we have about $300,000 in renewals opportunities. Now, of course, this is not guaranteed, but our goal is to get enough renewals to do $300,000 in revenue in the quarter. Now, that leaves us with $400,000 because we're just subtracting these numbers. That leaves us with $400,000 that we want to earn. Now, this is really the sales number that we need to bring in. And so our first number that we need to calculate is, how many sales is that for us? For us, that's about 25 sales. Now, obviously, everyone's math is a little bit different, but you need to do this math. You need to understand, okay, what is my ultimate goal? What do I already have coming in? Where's the easiest money? Where could I get more money coming in before I went out and sold? And then you're going to have a gap. And this gap, this 400,000, is our gap. This is what we're going to go out and try to fill. We know that that needs about 25 sales for us to get. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Again, don't default to, okay, 25 sales, that means I need 25,000 people on the email list. We're going to stair step this up and understand how many offers do we need to make to get to the 25 sales. Now, if you have different price points and different one-to-ones or groups, this is where the numbers can come in and you can have different offers and you can, but I want to keep this very simple. We're going to have one offer. And then what that means is, now we have to determine the sales event. Now, we use the word sales event because there's a number of different ways to show your offer to a person. And what we've broken down, the easiest breakdown is a sales call, some type of webinar, or a sales page. And each of these have different conversion rates. So a lot of people just default to sales pages because they're like, oh, that'll be the easiest. But the sales page usually converts about 3%. A webinar usually converts about 10%. And a sales call usually, this is actually on the low end, converts around 50%. Our goal is a 75% close ratio, but for this metric, I'm just going to use a round number of 50%.
And like Catherine just posted in our group, what was she at, like 90% for this month?
Yeah.
So often our clients end up doing way above average. The other point I want to make before Dan goes on is the offers. When people come to us and they're like, my launch didn't work, and we are reverse engineering, looking at the data, one of the questions we ask is like, well, how many people either were on live or actually saw your offer? And often when people think that the first thing they need to do when they're selling is do this massive 3-part video series, and they have 1,000 people who signed up, but then on day 3 or on video 3, they had like 5 people who actually got to the point of their offer. That is not enough numbers to get to where you want to go. You need to have more offers made, more eyeballs seeing the offer.
Now, wait, very interesting. You don't need more offers. She's not saying to make more offers in terms of like, hey, $5,
Yes, right.
$500, $5,000. What Nicole is saying is you need more people to see your offer. And that's actually what I want to come back to, is because most people don't understand what is not working. And so when we keep things simple like this, we can actually go through and uncover what piece of this puzzle is not working, is not pulling its weight, and then we can optimize it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, these numbers are really important because obviously if we want to get 3 sales and we're going to use if we want to use 25 sales and we're using a sales page, I'm just using my calculator. That means we need 833 people to get to our sales page. Conversely, if we use a sales call, we only need 50 people to book a sales call. So I'm going to keep the number simple. And this is really where a lot of people don't understand what they should be doing to promote their offer. Sales calls are generally the highest converting. There are some downfalls to them. They're not very scalable. It's hard to get people on sales calls. But if you're looking to make money and make money quickly, sales calls are still one of the fastest ways to get your offer in front of people and get them to say yes. It's also a great opportunity to listen to messaging and hear what your people are saying.
If you've watched any of our Rich Niche trainings, you will understand what I'm about to say. And it's really important. What Dan said is, well, I need 833 people to get to my sales page. But is that true? A lead is not a lead in this situation, because what if 10 people accidentally clicked on your ad? That person is not the same level of quality that a person who has consumed your content and is ready to buy. They're not equal. And there's a lot of what if bots hit your page and you're seeing these numbers? So with just the sales page, a lead is not a lead is not a lead. It's not created equal versus someone who is going to get on the phone with you, who you can qualify and you can talk to. It's just a huge quality difference.
The other thing that most people say is, I can't get people on sales calls, so I have to use a sales page or I have to use a webinar. And again, that's solving the wrong problem. If you can't get people on a sales call, you're not going to be able to get people on a webinar, and you're not going to be able to get people to buy from a sales page. So this is why we really, really push our clients to do sales calls for a little bit, just to see how we can get people onto a sales call. It's a messaging test, and it's also a great way to get some quick cash. Now, most people go from sales events to leads, but again, we are still not there. There's a key piece that this is where 99% of the industry is not talking about. And the next step is conversations. And this honestly is one of the most important metrics to determine if you're on the right path. Can you get people to talk back to you, whether through email, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn? I don't care where you are. Can you get your people to talk back to you? Can you pick a theme and speak about it in a way that your audience is like, holy crap, I need to message you. I need to comment. I need to engage with you because this is so interesting, so different. And so conversations are really key, because what Nicole was mentioning about sales pages, if we are going to use a sales page, if we are going to do a webinar, if we can pre-frame the webinar or the sales page with a conversation, our conversion rates are actually going to go up. And this is where it's extremely important that conversations matter. And if you can't get your audience to talk back to you, that is a problem. And that is a problem we have to solve. We find about 10% of our conversations go to a sales page, a webinar, or a sales call. That's a broad number, but that's the number that we generally use. If we're sticking with that, that means we need to talk to 500 people in order to have 50 sales calls so that we get our 25 sales. Now, the 500 may seem large, but this is over the course of a quarter. So if there's 90 days in a quarter, it's having a conversation with 4 or 5 people every single day. And so now we're breaking it down to what we need to do every single day. And now we can talk about leads. So now we can say, do we have enough leads in order to have conversations with 500 people? And this is where we can talk about audience. If in this instance, I would say if you had about 1,000 to 2,000 people, probably 2,000 people in your whole audience, you should be able to get conversations with 500 people over the course of the 90 days in order to get your to hit your sales event. So I would say the minimum is 2,000 people in your entire audience. This is email list, Instagram followers. Obviously, if you have more, that's a bonus. That's great, but that should be good enough. Any questions before I jump into the?
I think we should do another episode as part of the series is figuring out what one thing that has come up for me as I'm listening to Dan, which is why we're such a good team, is so many people ask the wrong questions and solve the wrong problems when it comes to this. So what I'm not gonna, because we'll do this in a whole other episode, is like how to solve the right problems, because most people are making these are saying, well, I just need more leads to get more sales. But if other pieces are broken within here, more leads is not going to lead to more sales. There are other pieces that are breaking. So our job with our clients is always like, what question should I be asking? What problem should I be solving? And a lot of the time, because we have 12 years experience, each of us, plus our entire team of advisors who have been doing this for decades, we can see when you're asking the wrong question. We can redirect and say, hey, you think your problem is this, but here's the question you actually should be asking. So we can talk about that at some point in this series, but your job right now is to just do this, is to figure out your numbers, your baseline numbers for the end of the year.
Yeah. And actually, I was going to go into something else, but I think this is the perfect place to stop, because where I want to go to next is, okay, now we're out in the real world and we're getting actual feedback. We're actually getting numbers fed back to us. What do we do then? How do we determine what is working and what's not working? And we'll walk you through our simple traffic light system of understanding what is red, what is urgent, what is yellow, which is kind of inconsistent, and what is green, what is optimized and working really well. And that helps us determine and will help you determine what your focus should be.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop the share right now, and I will just tell you, send me a DM on Instagram, Nicole Culver, because I would love to hear, one, what are your numbers? Let us know your numbers. What is your sales goal? And if you know you want our help bringing your people to that yes moment, DM me 7 to 7, and we will see if you're a good fit. So you saw our sales goal is 25. We already, since we started doing this, we already had a sale. That means we only have 24 spots till the end of the year, and we only have 8 this month. So we actually only have 7 at the time we're recording. So if you know you want one of those spots for 2023 pricing, because our price will be going up, then send me a DM if you want to see if you qualify for the program. 7 to 7 to Nicole Culver. And I would love to hear your feedback on this. Remember, simplicity scales. Our entire job when we work together is helping you figure out what brings people to that yes moment as fast as possible. And yeah, do you want to say anything else?
No, I think maybe the conversation you wanted to have that I said stop you on, I think that should be the next conversation. And then we can go into when things aren't working, what do we determine what to fix?
Yeah. And our goal is to help you, to really walk you through our ad strategy for this, our freebies, how we bring people to that yes moment for us as fast as possible. And I'm excited about this.
This is fun.
All right. Thanks for watching, for listening, and let us know your thoughts.